out of all our eggs that we hatched, there were 7 that actually hatched, and majority of them unfortunately are roosters. I got a feeling they've got a week to go, roughly. Then it's time to head to the cool room. Not as big as I was hoping them to be fair. So we'll just have to try and prove that for next time. So here we are in Kilcone Central. We are going to build ourselves a cone so that we can dispatch the chickens, or in our case the roosters, because we want the hens, we just don't want the roosters. So we have a piece of...
This is galvanised steel, which was cheaper than the stainless by a long shot. Can't remember how big it is, but first step, cut a rectangle 400mm wide by 760 long. I'm hoping that I can cut that with the side cutters. So there's a 400 by 760 rectangle. So what we've got to do next is find the centre of the long sides. So it should be the 350, 380. On the red side that came from the factory. And then draw a line between the two using the Sharpie, nice and clear mark. So we're just going to measure 180mm from the centre line. On each side of the centre line. So you can see this is going to start to be, that's the top of the cone and that's the narrower bottom.
So we draw a line from the top to the bottom to make our cone shape.
Trapezoid.
Yes, and if anyone didn't understand what he said, it said it's trapezoid.
It's razor sharp, so you're going to need to be careful. So there's our trapezoid shape. So 760 along the bottom, 360, and it would have been 400 high.
Or if you're doing it in inches, it was
I don't know.
30 along this end and 14 at the end.
So just on one of the cut diagonal edges, we're going to cut 38mm. Sorry, not cut. We're going to make a mark. 38mm in.
Which is 1.5 inches, wasn't it?
1.5 inches in old money.
And it's funny because before we moved here, wasn't it? We only knew feet and inches until.
No, not me. I've always been
Oh, really? Oh, just me then. Just maybe I'm showing my age. I was a feet and inches kind of girl, still am. And but couldn't tell you what they are now. I do in centimetres and millimetres now.
That line isn't going to be cut. It's only a guide when we start to roll the cone.
So that's the fixing line, isn't it? Where you
so you roll that side. We're going to roll it like that.
Yeah.
We might put it over the edge and ease it round. And then when we get it close, we're going to line it up, overlap.
To the line,
That
and that's
line.
the fixing line where you're going to use your rivet gun.
We are going to rivet it together. I can scarcely contain myself. I think with thinner metal, that might have been a bit easier.
So on the website, it actually, there was a few websites we tried to get the diagrams and stuff to make the cone, and they used flashing, but for some reason we couldn't get the flashing as wide as we needed, so hence why we're using this metal instead. But flashing would have been easier, a lot more supple to bend into the right shape. We use metal clamps to hold everything in place whilst Andy rivets the two pieces of metal together. Okay, so there's the finished item, and we mounted it on a bit of wood on the frame of the shed. The chicken's going to go in there, shaking around, and his head will pop out the bottom. It won't fall off though. Chop his head off, basically. That's going to be a controversial subject later, I know. We're not going to video that because not everyone likes that sort of stuff. But it is a fact of life, and that is why we're having this farm, to produce our own food. So the bucket will be at the bottom. It'll catch the blood. We will have a really big pressure cooker for canning, and that'll be on a burner. Once the chicken's bled, we will put him in the boiling water to scald his feathers, pull the feathers off, and then he'll instantly go into another bucket with cold ice water in it, because we need to chill it down really quickly before we remove the organs and guts and give it a good clean, which we do inside. Once the chicken is prepped, we lay them on a baking sheet in the fridge to chill and dry off for a couple of days before we vacuum bag them and put them in the freezer. Now this process is important because you need to let the muscles relax, and if you freeze them before they are adequately chilled, then the meat becomes tough. We will use the blood on the compost bin, and the feathers will also go in the compost bin because apparently they've got good keratin, and so that will be actually good in the compost bin too. Ultimately, what I would really like to do is completely use the bird and use its carcass. Obviously we can make stock with it, and then I can can that, but I would like to cook the bones down and grind them up. I'm not sure how easy that's going to be, and make that into blood and bone so that I can then feed the garden. But that's a project later on, because I'm going to have to work out I know people have done that, but how easy that is to do. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe and share.